Apparently we can't go on a hiatus over the holidays and come back and not have any idea what we're doing. It's great to be back. A couple of quick things. If you missed it, last night the girls had their last home basketball game and played absolutely tremendously well. One going away by about 16. And I just want to give a quick shout out to the 4 seniors, Avery Schroeder, Annie Zillig, Briley Seaman, and Isabel Lerma. They've had a great season, tremendous Muskies all the way around the horn. So if you see any of them, congratulate them. They've still got one more road game, and then they'll head into state. So a couple quick things. Don't forget, if you have tickets, this Friday is the RDFZ concert and performance. Their art troupe will be landing on us tomorrow. So should be pretty exciting. And kind of actually is a perfect segue into why Gretchen's here.
That's right.
How are you?
Good. How are you doing?
Good. If you could introduce yourself for those that don't know you, and then we'll do a little bit of symphony talk.
Yep. So I'm Gretchen Nolman, and I am part of the Muscatine Symphony Board here today to talk about our upcoming concert this Saturday.
Right. So this Saturday is Passion Latina?
Passion Latina. Yes.
There you go. Like I'll admit, Dollinger tells me this stuff.
Yes.
And like,
he comes up with some crazy names for it.
Well, he does, and I'll be honest, I'm not a music guy by nature,
Yep.
right? And like I'm the guy that can't clap in rhythm, right? So a lot of it goes over my head, right? So I just try and like, where do you want me to point the camera?
Yeah,
Let me know.
I grew up a jazz
Looks
band,
cool.
so learning orchestra was a whole different ballgame for me.
Yeah, I just, I told him the only symphony exposure that I had prior to starting to help with the symphony was we went to the Star Wars Symphony because it was Star Wars and my nephew was young and we're like, let's take him. And like, I'll say this, what blows my mind about it is even though I know zero about music, I can appreciate it. But what I really can appreciate is the fact that there's like somewhere between 40 and 80, depending on the concert, people doing things in unison and it comes out amazing. Like, and I can't even imagine like as a composer how you would write for all that. And like that's the stuff that I just sit there and go, I like to think I'm a fairly smart guy, and this is an area where I'm just like, screw it. Somebody else is.
I know the orchestra here, they start practicing on Monday, and then they have a true dress rehearsal tomorrow, Thursday, usually leading up 2 days before the concert and stuff like that. So it's interesting to see how much they improve from working Monday, because they've all been doing stuff on their own.
Right.
And then they come together, and then what difference it makes actually Thursday when they're over at Wesley, actually preparing for it. Huge difference,
So a lot of cool stuff going on at the Symphony this season. So I think probably the first and most overarching thing is it's Maestro Dollinger's 20th season.
It is, yes, very exciting.
And, something that a lot of people may not know is, he is the conductor for three others plus us. Mm-hmm. He is amazing, right? And what I love about him is he's not stuffy. Mm-hmm. He's not, you go to a symphony and I mean, like for a long time, I always had this like classic Boston symphony, stuffy East Coast.
Yeah, well, that's what everyone's known the orchestra for, because that's where it came from, essentially.
But Brian is, I don't know, he's probably about my age, give or take, our age. 6 foot something, bald, like cue ball bald.
Oh yeah.
Goatee, former military guy. And hilarious.
Oh yeah, he wants to be the joke of everybody, make everybody laugh and appreciate the music that he's putting on. Yeah,
and he does a tremendous job of bringing it to like people that are aficionados get it all, but he also does a great job of like making it accessible to somebody like me, right? Like he can say, okay, watch for this in this part, and here's kind of like this cool thing that's going to happen. Because like I have to know where to point a camera, right? And he's like, about 5 minutes in, look for this, and it's gonna be cool because it'll be like this, and he gets all excited, and I'm like, okay, if he's excited, that's a cool thing, and then I'll point a camera, and I'm like, oh yeah, that was pretty cool,
right? Yeah.
So the symphony season runs
Usually we start in July with our free 4th of July concert, and then we take a couple months off, but we really kick it off in October. And we have a concert in October, November. We do the free one around the Christmas holiday time frame, usually that first Saturday in December. And then in January, we don't do a concert per se to the public, but we have auditions for the young artist, and we give out 3 different $500 scholarships to those top 3 winners. And then they are able to perform in March. So the March concert that we have next month will feature the number 1 scholarship, but then the other 2 also get to attend and play along with the orchestra. So that's really exciting to see on that side of
And
stuff.
that's the how, what's it, it's the how,
Oh,
the how, I know that
it's the How Young
Young Artists?
Young Artist competition.
yeah.
Yes.
And
Yep.
last year, this young lady that won, and you can see this on the website, which we'll show you in a little bit, but ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like, she was, like, I remember watching her live, and I'm sitting there going, I just want to know what you're going to do when you're 30.
Well, yeah. I mean, it was crazy to see the talent that she had. This year's young artist, the young gentleman, I think will be just as amazing.
Yeah.
From the sounds of it, it was a hard competition from picking everybody that did apply and audition for it.
Yes.
So.
And, you know, the thing that, you know, obviously, most cities the size of Muscatine don't have a symphony,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
And just the fact that we have one, let alone one as good as it is kind of like this little hidden gem of Muscatine.
It is. Yeah. So it's been around for almost 25 years. I mean, we've
Yep.
had Brian 20 of it, so that's a huge, huge accomplishment to be able to keep a conductor that long. It's
Yeah.
almost unheard of.
So, yes, Chris?
You're on
Huh?
your website.
Oh, okay. Well, so, all right. Well, and so one of the things that we've been working on
Yeah.
For this season is a new website.
Yeah.
Just to kind of make it a lot easier to access and make it a little more of a window into what actually happens. So, as you can see, we kind of highlighted Maestro Bollinger there.
Yeah.
But then all the upcoming concerts are here. You can actually click out, and so this is tonight's, or not tonight,
Yeah.
Saturday's
Yeah.
concert,
Saturdays, yeah.
which is the guest artist is Angelo Favis. I hope I said that right. But this was actually a concert that was planned for the COVID period.
Right.
And I know Dollinger's been waiting and waiting and waiting to be able to get him
back.
back. And so I'm actually really looking forward to this, because the other thing that goes with this concert
It's a dinner.
is a dinner.
Beforehand,
right?
yes.
How does that work? And can people still get in?
Yeah, yep. No, people can still get in. They can get a hold of us off of our website or message us through Facebook. There's still seats, plenty of seats available. The tickets, if you're not a season ticket holder, if you just want to come that night to enjoy the dinner and the music, it's $55. The dinner is actually across the street, because all of our concerts take place at the Wesley Church here downtown. So we actually were able to use the Wesley Life Family Center, which I thought would be a perfect option for everybody, because then they only have to park their car one time. They come to dinner, they walk right across the street. But the guest artist, he's also going to be at the dinner and do a little preview of stuff. We also are going to have a mariachi band playing from the high school. So this will be very fun.
Right.
Yep. And then we have Shelly and Josh Lawson, which are natives here in Muscatine, that
Right.
are also singing. They've sung multiple years at our February dinner concert that we've always done. But it's going to have a little bit of a Latin flair to the food. We are serving enchiladas and some arroz con pollo and some churros for dessert, and chips and salsa. So trying to go with that Latin flair to kind of go with
Might
the
as well
theme
get
of
in the
music.
mood.
Yeah.
Right.
So it should be fun. But the dinner starts at 5, goes till 6:30. Concerts at 7. You don't want to miss that part at all. So it should be fun.
Awesome. Chris, are you back on us? Can we
Yes.
can we flip over to the website again real quick? Because I want to show them something that's really neat, that you can actually go back and watch the old Symphony Orchestra concerts.
Yep.
And as we continue through the season, obviously we'll produce them and put them out. But you can access all of them. They're all here. You can see the upcoming ones. You can actually even learn about the orchestra. And coming soon, there's going to be a whole Meet the Orchestra section.
Yeah.
Where what is the official number in the orchestra? Do you know?
I do not know. We range because it kind of depends on the timing of the season and who can come. Because some volunteer their time, some we do pay to perform with us and everything. And they're not all local Muscatine orchestra members. There's some that are coming from Clinton, some are coming from Illinois, some that Brian has known over the years that he's contracted in with us and everything. I would say anywhere from 40 to 60. I know at 4th of July there was about 60 of them that played.
And Chris, can we get that back up real quick? One other thing that I'm probably, when we build websites, there's usually one or two things that like I'm passionate about that this client needs, and this one was the first timers guide.
Yeah, which is huge.
Because I think we often talk about, and you and I have talked about, like barriers, like why would somebody not come? And with the Symphony, like if you don't know what to do, it can be intimidating.
Right? Yeah, because I mean, the first time I came, and I'm on the board, what am I supposed to wear? Like, where am I supposed to go? What am I supposed to sit? Why are we performing at the church? But then once you're there and you actually experience it, it's a whole different ballgame. So it's nice to see it on the website, to talk and discuss, what do you need to know for those first time actions like you were talking about.
Yeah, and it's like, where should I sit? What should I wear? Let's just make this super simple.
Yeah.
Come as you are.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. Like, I mean, preferably shower, I mean, like those sorts of things, right? But, anytime, like anywhere you were going, like out for dinner or whatever, you can
come afterwards. We've had people come from Hawkeye games that we've actually stayed by the door longer, because that's one thing that the church does ask us to keep the doors locked half an hour after the performance starts. So we've actually stayed by the door up until a half an hour, just because we've had a few people that we knew in advance were going to be running behind, because they came from a basketball game, so they showed up in shorts and a t-shirt. But they were fine.
And the nice thing is, it's church seating, right? So you come in and you find a seat. And
you can sit up on the balcony up there at the church, which is nice too.
Yeah. So I mean, and the nice thing is, like, when do I clap? What do I do? Brian tells you.
Yes.
Like, he'll even say, like, the first thing that he said, and actually this made me, it's like, if you feel like clapping, clap. The musicians will love it. Like, just do it. Just like, it's a completely, everything that you stereotypically would think of for the symphony.
It's opposite.
It's the opposite of that, in a good way.
Yeah, in a good way. Yeah, and the new thing that we also started this year that they had never done before, and our co-chair president Cheryl came up with the idea, is having young students, 4th and 5th graders, come in and sing the national anthem when they kick off the concert, because the orchestra would always play that in the beginning, and she came up with the idea of, why don't we have young kids get involved with this? They come and sing with you. There's a couple of them that have been doing sign language as well in the front. So when you do come, you'll see them. They'll have fun t-shirts that they've been wearing around town, I've noticed. So it's not just they're wearing them at the concert, they're wearing them everywhere now. So.
And so one other thing, speaking of kids, this is something that, obviously, the Symphony is a nonprofit organization here to support and be a part of the community. And one of the great things that you guys have done for a long time is student pricing. How does that work?
So usually we don't charge the kids to come in. We just keep tallies. We ask them to check in at the ticket, so they're free to get in all the time. The more the merrier. I mean, it obviously does help us on our funding side of it when we apply for grants, because we are promoting to the youth. But the other thing that Brian has really concentrated in past years, and I know the first concert in October, November, he did this. He went into the school system and had that artist go in on a Friday and talk to those orchestra students, because obviously our Muscatine School District has junior high and high school orchestra students, and I know they've really appreciated that.
Yep, and that's one of the things coming down the road for this, is actually benchmarking from some of the other orchestras, like what assets they have for teachers, and being able to recreate that here locally. So
and we actually have a couple of the orchestra students helping us at the dinner on Saturday night. So I'm excited about getting that involvement.
So if somebody wants tickets right now, they can go to the website. There's a big orange button up at the top. You literally cannot miss it.
Yes, exactly.
But they can buy tickets at the door. So it's Wesley Methodist, which is like catty corner from the old post office, that corner with like MCSA. And it's the gray one, because I know there's two churches right there.
It's the gray
one. It's the big gray one. Park around back, come in that way is the easiest way by far. And maybe 15, 20 minutes early, just like you would anything. And it's an absolute blast. They're only about an hour and a half, give or take. There's a nice intermission. They serve cookies. Like the cookies are always super good. I don't know where. Do you know where?
West Health Cake.
I thought that's what.
They donated to them.
I was pretty sure that's who did it, but I didn't want to
Yeah.
misspeak.
Mm-hmm.
That's, no offense, Brian, that's like the highlight of my night. No, but is there anything else you would want somebody to know about the symphony that we haven't covered?
No, I mean, just make sure and come out and check it out, really. I mean, I think this February concert is going to be a lot of fun, especially having the Chinese here on Friday night. Then,
Yes.
that kind of just goes right into the whole weekend of music.
It does.
So-
It's and what's really cool. But speaking about the kind of rewinding back to December, the Symphony free concert is the first Saturday in December,
Correct.
usually, which is obviously the day after the first Friday in December, which is Jingle and Mingle, and then also, what else? Illuminate will be going again. Like that's part of the big kickoff of the holiday season in Muscatine.
Yeah.
Is
Huge.
Thursday, Friday, Saturday. There's just all these huge things going on. And again, that kind of falls back into that. If people say there's nothing going on in Muscatine, they're not paying attention.
Yeah, they're not. I mean, it's everywhere.
Yeah. So,
yeah.
Well, awesome. Thank you for stopping in.
Yeah.
Really appreciate it.
No, thank you.
Muscatine, don't forget, go get your Symphony tickets. If you have tickets to RDFC, we'll see you tomorrow night. No.
Friday night.
No, Friday night. I've totally lost all track of dates here. But until then, don't forget, go attack the rest of the day with an enthusiasm unknown to mankind.